Look, boys, I may have another job for you. Take a look at that photo.
So gross.
Super gross.
Super gross.
This neighborhood is on the upswing.
We could paint this place today, sell it tomorrow, and still make money.
Yes, we could.
Jeepers.
All right, gentlemen, so Hell Baby, first and foremost, why this format? What was it about this that you guys thought we could bring humor to this and we can deliver something the audience is really going to like, and also something fun for us?
You know, I think it's a short nudge from doing comedy to doing horror films. I think if you can make someone laugh, you're right next door to startling them. And you know, we also, after years of doing Renoo and doing kind of big mainstream studio movies, we watch a lot of horror movies. It's just a genre we like. It's a kind of movie, if I'm going to watch something at home in my busy life, it's probably going to be a horror movie.
Yeah, it's probably going to be The Orphanage or The Changeling.
And the only thing that will make it better is if there's a naked lady in it at some point.
Yeah.
So basically this movie is a collection of things that we're like, well, what would make that better?
And Renoo is cops, which is the most serious, deadly serious people in deadly serious situations, and we just are idiots, but we're being deadly serious about it. So horror is kind of the next natural progression of people being super, super serious, even though they're idiots.
This movie, for as stupid as it is, including the title, which is unbelievably dumb title.
Terrible title. It's great.
But this movie takes itself very seriously.
And you've got like the priests who are like Max von Sydow serious, and the cops who are like deadpan serious. Everybody's
and no one knows what they're doing.
Everybody's so incompetent.
We come all the way from the Vatican to like.
We don't bring anything. We don't bring a weapon. We don't bring holy water.
We basically come all the way from Italy to eat sandwiches and get murdered.
Yeah, we go to strip club twice.
Yes,
that's what we do.
Sandwiches. We eat sandwiches. We
go to strip club,
see some boobs, and then we get murdered.
Yeah.
I assumed you guys were bringing cancer because there was always a cigarette in your hand, no matter what. I don't know.
We would be dead from cancer within a few years anyway.
Good point. That's a very good point.
That's true.
It wouldn't have mattered even if we'd lived because the tar in our lungs was
that
really
might
bad.
be the backstory. Is that we know is 6 weeks, so let's go to New Orleans.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if we solve the baby or not.
We smoked so many cigarettes in this movie, and I used to smoke in real life, but I haven't in a long time. And there was a day, the day that one of the days we filmed the rental car, that I had to actually go lie down for a little while because I was puffing. So it's just so fun to just look like.
You could tell he's sort of gray towards the end of those scenes where he's been smoking. Yeah.
And then I had to go lie down. Yeah. Don't smoke, kids. It's a terrible thing to start.
And you look great.
It does look cool.
You look cool.
You lose weight and you look cool. But don't do it.
Speaking of nudity before, was there any awards or Oscars promised for the male and female nudity that was in this? I mean, how did you get them to really go for it all?
Well, we on Renoo, we're naked all the time. And to us it's just like funny, but when you write like this 7-page scene of a naked lady.
And Ricky has been a friend of ours for a long time. Ricky was a friend of ours long before this movie. So that's an awkward conversation.
It's pretty weird
to have with an adult woman who's your friend, which is like, hey, we had this idea. Hear me out. We're going to make this movie. What if you don't have any clothes on for like 6 or 7 minutes in the middle of it? And she was like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You can tell she has a different level of confidence about her body that I probably don't have.
But women, if people approach you to do that, yell fire,
run away,
and call 911.
They're probably
don't
weirdos.
say
and
yes.
By the way,
they're probably weirdos.
We are weirdos.
We're weirdos.
And we talked Ricky into that, and God bless her, she's a very sweet person for doing that.
Also
crazy confident about her body.
Crazy confident
and
about
you
her
would
body.
be too if you looked like that.
Yeah.
I actually talked to Rob, and he said he had to focus on the fact that her body was just so glittery and not actually focus on the whole picture to really get through the scene.
You can tell he's genuinely uncomfortable, which is great.
Really stressed out.
He's not faking.
Well, because usually if like people don't have their clothes off in a movie, it's because they're like in a crazy, intense sex scene, and you just get to be like, wow, this is crazy, and there's music playing. This is not that.
No.
This is two people having a very boring conversation.
Super boring. With a little bit of improv, so you can't totally face out. You have to listen
you gotta
because
be engaged
you're
in the
improvising.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your close proximity is super weird. It's a weird movie.
Yeah.
Like it's for better or for worse, there's a bunch of stuff you'll see in this movie that you will not see in any other movie in the multiplex. That's out right now.
No. It's a bloodier, more nakedness, and it's funny.
Stupider.
It's so dumb.
There's a woman who can spin pasties on each different nipple. A woman named Moxie Sazerac.
Moxie Sazerac. Yeah, burlesque dancer.
There's a whole scene in the movie that's basically to show that for no reason.
It's great.
A lot of the scenes in the movie happen for seemingly no reason.
I would say 100%.
Seemingly no reason for a lot of the stuff in the movie.
Now talk about where did the name Fresnel come through? I don't know how exactly. There's an S in there too, and I'm not sure. Is it Fresnel? Every time I do it, I automatically go to little Nolan's accent when I have to say Fresnel. Yeah.
Exactly.
Where did that come from?
Well, there is a light. There's a movie light called a Fresnel, but then we wanted to put an apostrophe in. We just wanted it to be a name no one had before.
Fresnel.
Yeah, F apostrophe R-E-S.
Yeah.
Fresnel. And kidding aside, this movie was written for Keegan-Michael Key to play that character. You can probably tell everything is in his voice.
We met him on Renoo, and on Renoo he was the hypothetical guy. Hypothetically, if I were to have a murdered head in the trunk of my car, I'm not saying I do. Hypothetically, and we just fell in love.
We're
with
like,
the
well,
guy.
this guy might be the funniest guy in the world, so let's make a movie where
he gets to come in and say things that aren't important that you listen to. Really, like you just kind of listen to the way he says them.
Yeah, it's really just an experiment in a guy walking in and out of a room.
They're spooky, marsupials. I also love how intimately familiar he is with every Shakespeare play. He knows every you can
in great depth. There was that sequence where they talk about Hamlet was much longer in the original.
Hamlet and Leonidas, Act 1, Scene 2. And they both know every single character and like where you are in the movie. Oh, so good.
And let's talk about which I think is the basis for the Nolan's love is the po' boy sandwiches. We talked a little bit before this started. The po' boy scenes themselves seemed one of the seven sins automatically. Just when you watch those.
Those were all shot at a place called Domelices in Uptown in New Orleans. There's a lot of people when you go to New Orleans. A lot of people argue what the best po' boy place is, and there's some strong arguments to be made for several different places.
Was great.
Domelices is also great. Rob Hubel ate 7 of them that day.
In like a 2-hour span of time.
Yeah. No matter how good a po' boy is, you're not going to be okay later.
Oyster with gravy. He ate 7-foot-long oyster with gravy po' boys.
Yeah, he wasn't okay for a while.
I don't think he felt great about it. And then he went to a game that went. He went to a basketball game.
Yep.
Oh, poor guy.
Yeah, it wasn't great.
Yeah.
But I got in a swamp with alligators, and the scene got cut from the whole movie.
Yeah.
There was a whole scene of me in a swamp, and there were actual alligators behind me in the swamp.
Cutting room floor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, try to think of a thing I would like to do less.
Yeah.
Then go kneel down in a swamp full of alligators.
So
totally cut out of the movie.
Isn't that bad?
Eating po' boys and pooping your pants at a Hornets game.
Not that bad.
Could have been worse.
How did they get cut out? I mean, considering you're the person who put so much into it, it's like a.
We saw the movie at Sundance a bunch of times, and while it killed at Sundance every single screening, you could tell it was a tiny bit too long.
Yeah, we went through. We cut about like 6 minutes, and it's mostly us. Yeah, and it helps.
Well,
like it's really.
Have you seen the movie? Yeah, it's crazy funny now.
The flow
flies by. It's fun.
The flow is better. Yeah.
How about the between you two, your characters themselves? Would you guys just take off? Like, what if you had, kind of just messed up guys who have seen it all? When it comes to exorcisms. I mean, what was your guys' antithesis for your two guys who, like I said, smoked all the time and just they were outside of the church law?
But
totally
the second
out.
the baby is born, can you bleep stuff on this show?
Yes.
Okay. The second the devil baby's born, I go holy. Yeah. As if I've never seen anything like that before. So
totally incompetent.
So we're obviously no one's at the top of their game. But Fresnel has the best idea, which is if we're gonna kill a devil baby, should we maybe not let a good baby see that? Maybe that's something that could mess up a child. Yeah.
I mean, like to us, we love the idea. Like in The Exorcist, Father Damien is just like this tough, he's working out and smoking and drinking brandy. He's like this badass like priest who's like losing his faith and he can punch you. Like we love the idea of doing a movie about those guys. Yeah. About like macho 70s.
Priests will headbutt you.
Yeah, love that.
Last question, really quickly. You guys are together a lot. You guys ride together a lot. What's one thing no one knows about each other that you guys can let us know? What's one thing you can say about Ben? One thing you can say about Thomas? Yes.
Ben had the world's record collection of Smurf memorabilia in 1984.
82.
1982, Ben Garant had the world's largest collection of Smurf memorabilia. It was on display at the Knoxville World's Fair.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know if people know this. Thomas Lennon, he jokes about this genuine crush on Helen Mirren growing up, mostly from the movie Excalibur. Helen Mirren, mostly from Excalibur, and told her that to her face at Jerry Lewis's birthday party.
Yes.
And expected her to walk away, and she didn't.
Nope.
Like I was like, you know, I just want you to know I've had a crush on you since I was a little kid. She was like, really?
She stayed right there. And we talked for like 10 or 15 minutes. It was the weirdest moment of my entire life.
You were hoping for a conversion of some sort?
My wife is over that it's funny.
Don't you get your one
dad
celebrity?
for Christmas gave me like a little. He's like an artist. He made a little like Helen Mirren action figure doll
And
for
the
me.
missus was
and my
not
wife was like,
crazy
"That's
about
not
that."
funny anymore." Yeah. So she's over. She's really over it. Yeah. That's all right. Helen Mirren. You know.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. We look forward to the movie. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks so much.
Yes.